Thank you, everybody. Thank you for your patience.
We ready?
Okay. Thank you for your patience. We got De'Aaron Fox here. Again, if you have a question, please use the raise your hand function before we start. De'Aaron's going to open.
I just want to say thank you guys for being here. I'm excited to be here, obviously. 6 more years after this. And it's just exciting. We got a new GM, a lot of new players, and we're ready to get this weird and obviously awkward season started. So, like I said, it's going to be fun.
All right, we'll open questions with Sean Cunningham.
Fox, congratulations, man.
I appreciate it.
I wanted to know quickly, just, you mentioned Monty. For your standpoint, I mean, it seemed like everyone thought that your extension would be a formality, but was there any nervousness or apprehension? I mean, clearly you knew where ownership maybe stood, but having a new GM come in, what were just some of your feelings before he came in there? Were there any kind of apprehensions or anything like that?
Not really. At the end of the day, we let the business side of the game, happen. Obviously, negotiations happen and things like that. But we wanted to get it done and get it over with. Obviously, everybody knows how I feel about being here. And, Monty kind of felt the same way. So, we got it done quickly and easily, painless. And like I said, it's obviously that's over now. We're, happy that the contract is done and it's all about basketball now.
And as a position that I imagine you expected to be in as a max player, does that contract in your eyes bring any added pressures? And along those lines, the way you competed at the end of the year, did that kind of give you any glimpse into what your future with this team could be?
Definitely. I would say, towards the end of last year, I wasn't thinking about playing for a contract. Like I said, at the end of the day, business handles itself. But obviously with that being signed, a little underrated thing and all of that, I think is thrown out the door because you're not being paid like an underrated player. So, I'm trying to take that next step into becoming a better player. And that has to do with helping my team win. So at the end of the day, business is done and it's about winning.
James Ham.
De'Aaron, just how crazy has this offseason been for you? You got engaged. It's been like sort of a wind, like all over the place, right?
Yeah, it's been different. Obviously, it wasn't, we were calling it offseason now instead of the summer. So it's definitely been different. But at the end of the day, I mean, I think I've still done a pretty good job of preparing myself for the season.
And when you sort of look at the way that the direction of this team is heading right now, there's a lot of uncertainty about, wins and losses this season and sort of how this season will play out. What was it about this opportunity that made you look past maybe the win-loss record and say, this is still where I want to be long-term?
Because, obviously everybody wants to win, but at the end of the day, a lot of the times it's about the long-term goal. If we're able to win for 3, 4, 5, 6 years, that's the goal. So, obviously we're still coming into the season trying to win as many games as possible. But at the end of the day, you're thinking about, the longevity of this league and being able to win for a long period of time.
Marshall Harris.
Hey, De'Aaron. Good to see you again. First of all, just what's the biggest difference between your approach to this season now compared to not even a year ago, more than a year ago when last season started? What's the biggest difference in terms of your approach and how you're looking at things?
From myself standpoint, I think it's about just continuing to grow, I wouldn't say that the approach is different. I mean, you're still coming to every season expecting to win, as many games as possible. Obviously, there are no fans, for majority of the season, if not the whole season. We don't know yet, but I don't think the approach is any differently than any other season.
And when you look at last time you were playing basketball, there was a bubble. There's no bubble now. What do you think the biggest challenges will be for yourself, your teammates, all the players, I guess, in the NBA? And as you've seen what's happened, even look at college basketball, the NFL, we got like Wednesday night football. Like what are you looking at as the biggest challenges for you in the league?
Obviously it's about staying safe. At the end of the day, that's what it is. as far as challenges, you're not looking at on the court challenges any differently than you would before. This is all about continuing to be safe, and it's not like football where you have one game in a week. If you test positive, it's like obviously you're out for a week. Now in the NBA, if you test positive, you're missing 4, 5, 6, 7 games. So it's all about being safe in this environment.
Jason Jones.
Hey, what's up, De'Aaron?
What up, man?
Not much. In terms of your development, in terms of being a leader, and I know when you came into the rookie, you had like Vince Carter and Zach and those guys in the locker room. It might have been it was a little tough to maybe be as vocal. Just how far have you come in that role as being a vocal leader and kind of taking control of the team in that way?
I think I'm still getting better at it, still learning. As a leader, you obviously still have to listen, but for me, it's continue to be more comfortable, in my body and in my voice. Make sure guys hear me. Obviously, we haven't been able to do that, but just shooting out text messages here and there. And, I've talked to Tyrese a few times, and just being able to text him and go through things because we haven't been able to get together as a team. So it kind of starts there. These next couple of days, it's all individual stuff. So, being able to reach out and let people know, know you're here and you're thinking about the team is the first step at it.
And Luke mentioned to us about offensively getting at things quicker and some of the things that might change with having Alvin and Rex on the staff. What do you haven't been around and seen both of those guys, especially Alvin and what he's done offensively with his teams? What do you look forward to that could be different, that could maybe accentuate your game even more this season?
Just knowing the way, knowing the way the Pelicans have played the last couple of years is, they're getting up and down the floor. They're going to play fast, not necessarily shoot the ball fast, but they're going to get the ball down the floor quickly, get into their stuff quickly. And it makes, obviously it's a fun style to play. And it's a harder style to guard and being able to stop. So with the type of players that we have on this team, we know that we can get the ball up and down the floor. We can get early shots if we want, but we can still at the end of the day be able to get the shots that we want. So offensively, it's definitely a fun style.
Hey, Jason Anderson.
Hey, De'Aaron, congrats on the contract and all the family stuff and all that, man.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Hey, in this process, as you and the organization have committed to each other long term, and talking with Vivek and Monty and Luke and the rest of the organization, what's the vision they laid out for you and for the team, and what does that timeline look like to you?
Obviously, I'm a younger player and we got, some rookies coming in, but it's to win for, like I said, in a substantial amount of time. It's not to have 1 or 2 good seasons, it's to roll out 5, 6, 7 good seasons. So that's what it's about. That's what we're trying to build here. Okay.
And, if I could ask you kind of a 2K, NBA 2K style rating question, your defense, where would you have put that over the first couple of years? Where do you want it to be, and how do you get there?
It's just constant. It's consistent effort. Being able to continue to put that effort out, being able to play both sides of the ball. Obviously, you have to be in great shape for it, especially playing point guard in this league. You're going to get hit by 15 screens per possession. So it's just being able to put the effort out. I think that's 80%, 90% of defense. It's just being able to try.
G-Man, Gary Jarrett.
Hey, Money Man. You're talking about continuing to grow. What's the next step that you want to see in your growth on the court? Are you targeting any specific areas in terms of performance?
For me, I think the next step is just being a shot maker. Obviously, that's where the league is going. That's where it's always been. To be a championship team, to be a team that's contending, you have to have multiple shot makers. And I think that's where that's the next step in my development is.
Thank you.
Dave McMiniman, ESPN.
Hey, De'Aaron, congrats on the deal. When you guys were down in Florida, obviously COVID was a concern, but there were some limited options to you guys, right? So you couldn't really violate the bubble too much, and everyone was able to keep playing games. But this season, without that, how much of player accountability will fall on one another to kind of make sure everyone is doing the things to stay safe, not just to be able to play games without falling behind the standings, but just so everyone stays safe. And will you guys, for lack of a better term, kind of make sure that you lead one another in that aspect?
Obviously, safety is a big part, and people still want to live their lives at the end of the day, but it's all about, thinking of others and especially thinking about your teammates. You don't want to catch it and then someone else could possibly get it. And now, half the roster has it, and, games are either canceled or, it's playing with a shortened roster. So, you have to think about your team. But you could catch it from doing the smallest things at this point. And at the end of the day, you just try to be accountable for yourself, accountable for, what your family's doing, and just try to keep it as safe as possible. It's not much that can really be said about that.
Thank you.
John Scott, TNT.
Hey, De'Aaron, the pandemic has changed the way we all watch sports. What is it about the game that keeps you engaged and motivated as a player during these unprecedented times? And what about the game draws in fans and keeps them watching?
The fact that you can get away from things, when you're watching, and then as far as playing, we're still playing basketball at the end of the day. Nothing's really changed. Once you step on the court, you're kind of not, at least I can speak for myself, you're not really thinking about, the COVID situation or anything like that. Obviously with no fans, it's a bit different, but I'm still playing basketball, rather if you were playing pickup, if you were playing in a normal game with fans or without fans, you're approaching it the same way.
Matt George, there's a couple more.
De'Aaron, going back to your draft night, it was clear the city and the fan base wanted you and that you wanted to play here. Now, fast forward to signing a max deal. What is the relationship still like between you and the city? What does it mean to get that commitment from this organization?
I love it here. I love playing here. I love the fans. It's definitely been great since I've been here. Like I think I've said it before. It's kind of like when I was at Kentucky. That's the show there. But here, we're for me, I want to be able to, bring wins to the city, bring wins to this franchise. Obviously, I'm very happy that we have that commitment, we have that trust in each other. But now it's about winning. I think that's what it's always been about. And obviously, I'm only 22. I'll be 23 in 19 days, or I think today's the first. Yeah, 19 days. So obviously, I'm still a young player, but I want to be able to, win for majority of my career.
And then you were very impressive with your aggressiveness, attacking the basket in the bubble. You talked a lot last season about how the game has really started to slow down for you. Should we expect that offensive aggressiveness to carry into this season? Has anything changed for you in that mindset?
Yeah, definitely. Continue to stay aggressive. I think I shot well from the field. I think I shot around like 50% from the field in the bubble. But like I said, it's about being a shot maker. So being able to continue that efficiency from the field, but also up my efficiency from the three-point line, I think changes the game, not only for myself, but for my teammates.
Time for the last question, Tony Harvey.
Yeah, De'Aaron, like everyone else, man, congratulations on the big contract. I think right now you have the largest contract currently have the largest contract in Sacramento Kings history. So congratulations on that. You said a lot of things about winning these past questions. I just want to get your thoughts on, the Kings haven't made the playoffs in the last 14 seasons, and that's a problem. What is your thoughts about that? And, there's no I in team. Of course, you're going to need a team to do that. But what is your thoughts about trying to get over that obstacle?
For me, it's about, one, every player on the team has to up their games, rather if it's players that have been here, the rookies or new guys through free agency. But it's been a lot of different, factors and, different coaches, different players. But at the end of the day, we want to come here, and we've had guys that have played on playoff teams and that have won championships. So it's about listening, continue to listen to each other, continue to play together. And then at the end of the day, it's, you don't want to think about the results, but that's life. You think about results, and we got to go out there and play the way that we're supposed to play. You know, you listen to the game plan, and, you know, you kind of want to have the chips fall where they may. But if we're able to do all of that, and, you know, obviously basketball is about making shots. And like I said, I want to become a better shot maker and continue to, you know, help my team. That's what's have to be done. And I think that obviously we say no I in team, but if I'm able to do that, it opens up the game for everybody. And I think that it'll make the team better. And if we're all clicking, then, you know, we're a playoff team.
Thank you, De'Aaron. Thank you, everyone. And we'll talk to you soon.
Appreciate it, guys.